we will relate peak performance to our ability and to time. So when we are young, we perform or we develop our ability very quickly. So, I don't know, did you have the experience, Emerson or Carlos, to work as a trainee?
Yes.
Okay, do you remember that in the first 6 months or the first year, you developed very quickly?
Yes.
And of course your ability during time took more time to develop.
Sure.
Okay, so when you have to reach good performance and you want to reach peak performance, you have to move from good to peak performance. You have to increase your ability, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your ability of delivery. And can you remember a point where you reached this peak performance in your life?
Yeah, I think that when I was running IT solution for the telco industry, setting that solution was the time that we as a team reached a peak performance.
Okay, and tell me, how did you feel when you had this opportunity?
The feeling was very good, so we were very happy, the company was happy, and the customer was very happy as well. So
Great.
Everybody was in the same page on the happiness.
Very good, very good. And I remember discussing this in the past, and Carlos shared with me that you felt very present, right? When you were working at peak performance, you were present, and you were working as a team, right? So these 2 points, and you had a very clear goal and objective. Because if you don't have a very clear goal and objective, it's hard for you to measure where you are and where you have to go to.
Makes sense.
Right? Makes sense. And I just like to share the point and a story about Henry Ford. Henry Ford, he worked, or he had, in the first years of his career, he went bankrupt for 5 times before he brought results and he reached peak performance. So, why am I bringing this story? Just to relate that your previous experience, suppose somebody does not have or has at least peak performance, least results, this doesn't mean he won't reach peak performance. Okay? This is basically the point. Is it clear for everybody?
Yes.
Yes? Can we move on to our exercise? I'd like to hand out these exercises. What is the proposal of this exercise? The proposal of this exercise is that one person will interview the other. So you will have the interviewer and the interviewee, okay? Don't give up until you're satisfied with the answers. Suppose you want to explore more. Please take your time. But you have to focus. We will only have 4 minutes or 5 to share this experience. Okay? So I can tell you when you can swap, and I'll be an observer, and if needed, I'll help you with the exercise.
All right.
Okay? Is it clear, Carlos, Emerson?
Yes.
Questions?
Está claro para você.
Clear?
Claro.
Okay?
Ok.
De repente eu faço então a pergunta para você e você me responde para ser o entrevistador e entrevistado.
Okay.
Quais são as 2 pessoas que você selecionou, Carlos, na pergunta número 1, number 1?
Eu coloquei eu mesmo, como pessoa número 1, e pessoa número 2 você.
Tá bom. Tá? E o que você respondeu na segunda pergunta sobre quais são os skills necessários?
No meu caso, eu estou com determinação. Tá?
Okay.
No seu caso, que isso é vontade.
Okay.
Tá?
E com relação aos skills que precisam de desenvolvimento para essas 2 pessoas que você respondeu?
A determinação eu respondi foco para mim e coragem para você.
E na pergunta número 4, que fala sobre o que essas duas pessoas estão fazendo nesse período de peak performance.
Para mim, eu preciso desenvolver a comunicação e para você a perseverança.
Então, legal. E quando você, na pergunta 5, quais são os benefícios que você percebe agindo em peak performance, que você respondeu? Pergunta 5.
Os benefícios, eu sinto sempre esses benefícios depois, né? Que é como se fosse uma realização, com um objetivo cumprido.
Então, vamos inverter então.
A pergunta, você também me escolheu?
Eu vou responder as perguntas para você. The number 1, I selected you and me as well, Carlos.
Número 2.
Number 2, the skills that people need. I answer in your case determination and focus on target. In my case, my self-assessment, focus on targets, it's very important to me too, and perseverance.
Carlos, just let me interrupt 1 minute. Is it sufficient? Do you feel that he brought the answers you as an
Yes.
interviewer would like?
Yes.
Okay, please go on, sorry.
Okay. Number 3, I answer. I'm sorry, I didn't wait for the question, but I answer already for you because I have the question here. So, in your case, the number 3, the skills we need to develop. I think that belief is something that you need to improve, and communication. In my case, the feeling of winning, to transmit to the team the success, to celebrate the success, and believe, it's the other point. Number 4, in your case, I think that you are doing execution with your customer when you are at peak performance. You are interacting with your customer and you are communicating with them.
Você sente que essas respostas estão... Ok. Queria aprofundar alguma coisa?
Não. Não, acho que está.
Ok.
In my case, I select that I'm executing as well the tasks to reach the peak performance, and I'm focusing on the targets that I received to deliver the peak performance. And the number 5, that the benefits that I perceive for me, it's happiness, so success, relief, accomplishment. All these feelings brings me a very good feeling about the benefits about reaching the peak performance. Ingrid, back to you.
Did you feel this exercise that you could, complete and bring to memory your past experience and look into the future? This is, right? How,
Yes.
what will it look like?
Yes, I think that this exercise is very important because by the time that I was thinking to answer the questions, I was able to bring, to remember what I did and what was requested when I was performing in a peak. So it was very interesting. So it's a very good exercise to keep thinking in the future.
Você também gostou? You liked it, Carlos?
Gostei,
Você achou que...
gostei. É sempre interessante ouvir de outro uma coisa sobre você, sobre que você acaba de analisar. Então, é interessante.
Ok. Bom, então assim, insights, coisas que vocês vão levar, that you're going to take to the future, basically that you're going to continue thinking on this, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Great. Any questions so far? Can we move?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so the point I'd like to bring is, how will we plot our journey?
Okay.
So we discussed, we thought about the things we need, so I'd like to bring this model, this model that was developed by Csikszentmihalyi. He's a psychologist. He developed this study in 1999 based on a 30-year experience, and he brings, it's something very simple. I think that this model, it was simplified, and this is the merit of this model, because it's easy to remember, You can take this, you'll see that you'll always go back to it. So when we're talking about plotting our journey, we have to understand, and I hope it's clear, that you need to believe, right? So you can bring results. Do you agree?
Yes.
And basically what Csikszentmihalyi says, that you need challenge. If you're challenged, you will bring results. And basically, we're more challenged at work than we are at leisure. This is why it's easier to remember a situation of peak performance at work. So you're challenged more at work. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
So basically, he says, when you have a high challenge and high skills, you are able to perform, at peak performance. But suppose you don't believe in your skills, or you don't have the skills. The challenge is high, you will be very anxious. Probably you'll be working with this anxiety mode. So, how to move from anxiety to peak performance? Of course, at this case, you would have to or believe or increase your skills with training and reading. Another thing he brings, another part of this theory is that you can learn from observation. It's really interesting. Adults have this capacity, children do, to learn from observation. So when you observe people, when you have a model to follow, it's easier for you to also reach this peak performance. You have a model to follow, When we have a low challenge and we have skills, we feel apathy. You don't feel that motivated to work. And when you feel that you have the skills, so you have the skills and you have moderate challenge, you feel bored. And this happens to most of the people. So most of the people are operating and working on a boredom mode. Clear? Any questions? So what I would like to leave is the following thought. There are tips and techniques we can work and learn to develop, to reach this peak performance. And I am absolutely sure you are interested, right?
That's very interesting. This last graphic brings all my attention how I develop myself to be peak performance always. Very interesting.
So if you need more details, we will have a full day workout experience and we'll invite you. Thank you very much. Have a nice